Hey everybody, my name's Emily. Welcome back to the homestead. Today we are revisiting our nesting box that I made, the rollaway nesting box. I made this two reasons. One, so that we'd have more nesting space available for all the hens that were coming in to the right age to be laying, and most importantly that's Richard Simmons out there causing a ruckus. Most importantly, to stop the chickens from eating the eggs, or breaking them at least. So we have had a few eggs broken in these nesting boxes. Some of them have been eaten and some of them have just been left broken. But I'm going to address that today and try a new technique to stop them from breaking these eggs. Some of them, I think, intentionally they're trying to eat them, and some of them it's accidental breakage, which is why they haven't been eaten. But this morning in particular, I'd already decided that I was doing something today, but I was collecting eggs this morning and I saw Bob lay an egg. Bob's egg is a blue egg. And it rolled down into the rollaway section. And then later, the same morning, I hadn't collected Bob's egg because I'd already collected eggs and taken that out, and I was back here for some other reason. And Goldine was in the same nesting box, and I went to collect the eggs that were there since the last time. I'm collecting more often because of the egg breakage. Anyway, so Goldine was in the nesting box, and I went to open it up and take Bob's egg because I knew there was an egg there, and it was not there. And I reached under Goldine, and Goldine had pulled the egg up from the rollaway section back underneath of herself, and she was sitting on Bob's egg. So that is one thing that is happening. So hopefully this will take care of both of those things. Chickens trying to pull the eggs back up underneath of them, and chickens trying to eat eggs. So I've got one of my husband's old t-shirts out here that's, worn out. He doesn't wear it anymore except for maybe if he's going to paint or something like that. But he's got multiple t-shirts like that. I wanted a dark colored one, and this is mostly black. So that's perfect. And I'm going to cut it into strips and staple it to the lid of the rollaway section in hopes that it'll create a curtain that will block the chicken's view, and then they won't be tempted to stick their heads in there and get at stuff. If this doesn't work, I really have no idea what I'm going to do, because I really don't want to have to figure out exactly who is doing it and cull them. But I guess that is an option in the future, but it's not one that I like. In general, this is working out really well. I did end up adding legs here at the front just for some more stability because the bottom section was starting to pull away from the wall a bit. The top section was staying up just fine, but you can see it's a little cattywampus. It's not straight there anymore. But these legs are supporting it just fine. And for the most part, this is working really well. Some of the chickens are still laying on the floor, which there's one right there. And I saw another one over there. The guineas are laying on the floor for sure. Let's see. Yeah, I think these are both guinea eggs that are on the floor right now. But they are not climbing up in the nesting boxes at all. I don't think must not be how guineas lay eggs. And then we got a couple over here next to the Skegsy crate. We are going to move him and all of the guineas to the stall that we brooded the baby chicks in. But first we need to reinforce that area first to kind of make sure they're secure, and then we're going to be letting them outside into that area that's still fenced in right outside that sliding door. So we are going to move him somewhere else until butchering day, because that's still very far away. But he's got food, he's got water, he just doesn't like to be in there. So far he hasn't been in there longer than any chicken's been in the infirmary, so I'm not too worried about it yet, but it is something that's going to need to be addressed pretty soon. So it's about 3.5 inches from the top of the rollaway door to the bottom of the nesting area, the paint trays that are in there. So I'm going to cut the strips of fabric at least 4 inches so that I've got something to grip on to the wood, and then the 3.5 inches that can hang down. I pre-cut some of these in the house and decided I should come out here and measure before I cut any more. And this one is 4 inches and this one's about 3 inches. So this one's not going to work. I'm glad I stopped when I did. Do the next row, let's see how this works. These eggs, let's see if they roll down. Yep, they went behind the curtain. But let's try it with a chicken egg just to make sure. And that worked too, as far as I can tell. It's too dark over there to get a video because that was in the darkest corner. I cut out around the dividers and the edge of the paint trays so that the fabric wouldn't get caught up on there, and that seems to be adequate. I didn't realize when I was starting that I would need to do it down here, so the next row I will just start attaching it over a bit instead of at the very edge. But hopefully this is going to help and deter them from getting in there. I may need to come back, and I probably will, either with some needle and thread or with just a regular stapler and staple or sew these two pieces together, because when this egg rolled down, it happened to roll right at that gap, and I could feel that these were separated apart. So that is potential issue that I plan to head off at the pass and just take care of today. But let's get the second row done. We do have a bit of deterrent here. Leo has decided that she is going to be broody, and I've been kicking her out of this nesting box multiple times every single day for several days, probably at least a week. This is not the same cuckoo Moran that was in that little brooding house thing that I took all those eggs out of. That was Rex, short for T-Rex. This is Leo, short for Liopleurodon. And we're going to have to get her out of there. I mean, she won't leave. She'll stay there the whole time I'm working, but it'll be easier if she's not there. Come on. Come out. I've tried dunking her in a bucket of cold water for maybe 30 seconds, but that did not break her broodiness, so maybe I needed to put her in there longer than that. Not her entire self, just like her belly. But so far, nothing is keeping her out of that nesting box. In the past, I have put chickens in a crate up over something so that they weren't able to warm their bellies on the floor of whatever thing they were in, and that has worked sometimes. I'm hesitant to do it right now just because I've already got the Skeggsy in a crate. She's not hatching any eggs. She's still getting out and eating and drinking because I'm kicking her out. So I have seen her eat, I have seen her drink. I'm not worried about that yet, so hopefully she'll just either break the broodiness herself, because the eggs roll away, she's not laying on them, and I've checked, she hasn't pulled any up underneath of her like Goldine was doing this morning. She's already thinking about jumping back in there, so I better get to this. No, go on. Now what am I doing to your beautiful nest? No, can't. I think she's upset with me, guys. What do you think? Aha, black. Not that the chickens will mind if the thread doesn't match, but I will know, so. Thanks, Fancy Nancy. Got it done. Hopefully this will stop the breaking of the eggs, but only time will tell. And wish us luck with that. Thanks for hanging out today, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.